What's going on, you guys? Andrew here, and today I want to talk to you guys about a new trifecta in the market rising in popularity, and that is the WellsFargo Trifecta. I know Wells Fargo doesn't have a great reputation around its name, unlike other banks like Chase and American Express, but if you really take a look at the benefits it has to offer, it could really be something worth considering. The great thing about this trifecta is that there is no annual fee on any of the cards in this setup, so if you're not someone who wants to pay an annual fee, or you're new into the whole credit card game and just wanting to build some travel rewards points, this could definitely be a setup for you. Now, the first card in this trifecta is actually the Wells Fargo PROPEL card. This card has actually been rising in popularity lately, especially with the changes in Uber Visa and Chase Sapphire Reserve. With the Wells Fargo PROPEL card, you actually get 3 times the points on dining, ride shares, homestays, and other forms of travel. And you'll also get 3 times the points on popular streaming services, so like Hulu, Netflix, I think Disney Plus is on there now. So definitely a lot of things that you're spending throughout the month, and you can rack up points very quickly. Outside of those bonus categories, you'll actually see 1 point per dollar you spend on every other transaction you make. But if you actually have the other cards in this trifecta, you won't be using the PROPEL for anything that's not bonus spend. The PROPEL card currently has a sign-up bonus of 20,000 points when you spend $1,000. That's actually within the first 90 days of account opening, so the first 3 months. But if you're living on your own, or if you're living with someone else and you have your own bills to pay, that's pretty easy to hit. That's groceries, gas, internet, utilities, you name it, you'd be able to hit that in just about enough time. I recently got the card myself, and I'm already halfway to hitting that sign-up bonus. This card actually comes with additional benefits like cell phone protection. When you pay your monthly phone bill with your PROPEL card, Wells Fargo will cover your phone from any damage or theft up to $600 per claim and up to $1,200 per 12 months. That also comes with a $25 deductible. And that's actually a pretty good perk to have. If you have the latest iPhone, that's definitely not going to cover it, but just about almost any other smartphone out there in the market, this is definitely something. It's a pretty good perk. It's a pretty good perk. My cell phone isn't anywhere near that, but if I know that if I'm paying with my PROPEL card, I'll be covered if anything were to happen to it. This card also comes with advanced access, so if you're one who goes to concerts and events and everything that require you to purchase a ticket, Wells Fargo will actually give you access to those tickets before they go out to the public. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a head start in terms of getting these tickets so they don't sell out quickly. So definitely something that is a great perk to have at no additional cost if you go to these events quite often. So the PROPEL card actually has no foreign transaction fees, which is great until you remember that it is an American Express card, so you are going to have a little bit of a tough time finding places that accept it overseas. But if you're doing a lot of more domestic travel here in the States, you'll have no issue with that. A lot of places have been accepting American Express, every year. So definitely something to consider if you're going to be traveling domestically, but if you're going overseas, I recommend having a backup card just in case you run into a situation where you need to use your card and you don't have one that you can use because the PROPEL, they don't accept American Express. But all in all, for a card with no annual fees, I definitely think that this is a great one to have, even if you don't plan on having the trifecta. The points build up very quickly. And definitely if you're someone who's just now getting into credit cards and kind of figuring out which card you want to get first, if you're the type to have a very broad travel category, so gas, homestays, ride shares, with it domestically, definitely something to consider. Now, the second card in the Wells Fargo Trifecta is actually the CashWise card. This card isn't anything to get excited about at face value. If you have the Freedom Unlimited card with Chase, it's exactly like that. You get 1.5 times the points on every transaction you make. There's no limit on that, and there's no bonus categories to have. It's just a flat 1.5 times points on everything, which is better than the 1-for-1 points on the PROPEL card on non-bonus spend. So this is definitely the card that would kind of supplement any category that you don't hit with your PROPEL card. Off the top of my head, groceries is definitely one of the things that you would use this card on to generate those points, as the PROPEL doesn't have a grocery category. So if you're only going to be sticking within the Wells Fargo Trifecta, this is definitely the card you'll be using. But if you're like me and you want to maximize your cashback rewards, there are a lot of other cards out there that actually do a better job at this. The American Express Blue Cash Preferred card is one of them. If you don't want to pay the annual fee, there's the Everyday card. It's still just as good, 3% back on the Everyday card, 6% back on the Preferred card. Much better than the 1.5 times on the CashWise card. So a lot of different options out there, but if you're going to be sticking within the trifecta to generate those points, this will be the card you'd use. The Cashwise card currently has a sign-up bonus of $150 back when you spend $500. So it's a fairly easy requirement to hit, especially if you're using it on groceries. I know my grocery bill comes out to about $200, $250 a month. In 2 months, I've hit my $500 spend on just groceries alone. Get $150 back, so it's pretty good. I'm spending money that I would have already spent on groceries anyway, and the bank is giving me $150 back to do just that. So yeah, as long as I pay my statement off in full at the end of every month, I'm not paying anything extra to get this money back. I know that a lot of people kind of think, oh, I have to spend $500 and I'm only getting $150 back, so I really spent $350. Well, no, that's not the case. If you pay your statement off in full, don't spend money you don't have, you'll get the sign-up bonus on top of paying for all your stuff. Just like the PROPEL card, the Cashwise card has the additional benefit of cell phone protection. So again, that's going to be up to $600 per claim and up to $1,200 per 12 months. And that's only if you pay your phone bill with this card. Now, last and certainly not least, the bread and butter of this setup, it's the card that makes this entire setup worth it, the Visa Signature card. You're probably wondering why this card is so special, and it's definitely not because of the points it can generate in the first 6 months of account opening. Because in the first 6 months, you actually receive 5 times the points on gas, groceries, and anything from a drugstore. Now that kind of defeats the purpose of the Cashwise card on 1.5 times the points on all spend. So if you were to spend that on groceries, you would definitely use this card when you get the card, because again, that's only for the first 6 months that you receive 5 times the points, and that's up to $12,500. So once you reach that, whichever one comes first, you receive 1 point per dollar spent, which isn't worth it at that point. You really, you have the Cashwise, so might as well get the 1.5 points per dollar spent versus the 1. But this is where the card comes into the trifecta and gives it its value. So when you transfer your points from your Cashwise card and your PROPEL card to the Visa Signature card, you actually receive a multiplier on the points you already have. That comes out to about 50% of the points you currently have, or 1.5 times the points. So if you have enough to receive the 20,000 points on your PROPEL card and you transfer them over to your Visa Signature card, you get a 50% increase on your points, coming out to $300 in value when you redeem it for airfare. Unfortunately, this card does have a bit of a kickback. Wells Fargo doesn't have as many transfer partners as Chase and American Express do, so you're quite limited to what you can do with the redemption. So you only get that 50% increase when you redeem it for airfare. So that doesn't include car rentals, hotels, Airbnbs, things like that. So it's everything outside of airfare. But if you take the points that you have with your GoFar rewards, redeem it for cashback, you can easily cover all of that with your cashback points. Or if you happen to have another trifecta that you're using, you can cover it with that as well. But for a simple setup with no annual fee, I definitely think this is a great trifecta to consider, especially if you're new to credit cards or if you're just wanting to start building reward points and you don't know where to start. This is definitely a trifecta for you to consider. There's no annual fee, you're not paying for anything, even if you consider the Chase trifecta with the cheapest card on the market for them. That's going to be the Sapphire Preferred. You're still paying $95 in annual fee. Granted, some of the benefits are a lot better in my opinion, but if you want to keep the cost as minimal as possible and just do some basic travel around the States, definitely a trifecta for you to consider. The bonus categories are very broad and easy to hit for the average spender. You don't have to be someone who makes a ton of money in the world to kind of rack up these points because of the broad categories. Almost everything you do in your day-to-day will count in these categories, whether it's dining, gas, or even some cases travel. You'll hit those categories very quickly because even the travel can count as a toll road. And again, I'll leave that full list in the description below. But all in all, my opinion, I think it's a very great setup. I have the PROPEL card in my wallet. Not too sure if I'm going to go and get the entire trifecta because I maximize my setup completely maximizes my bonus categories for cash back. That's what I like at this point in time. I'm very much an advocate for receiving cash back over travel since I don't travel that much. But who knows, in the near future I may end up going and getting this trifecta, if not another trifecta, to maximize my travel rewards benefits. But what do you guys think about the Wells Fargo trifecta? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you never want to see anything Wells Fargo ever again because you had a bad experience? Either way, I would love to hear what you guys have to say, so be sure to leave a comment down below and I'll see you guys in the next video.